For the past 21 days, we've been following the story of Wallace Epperson on his search to find his daughter. If you haven't seen the previous 3 videos, I will consider viewing them before this one for some context. Will Wallace Epperson find his daughter, or will he perish like everyone else around him? Anyway, without further ado, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get right into the video. Starting where we left off on the morning of day 22. The random character I started with now has 355 kills, along with my skills not being too bad either. For breakfast, I ate some stale food items before they would go bad, then added ripped sheets as padding for some of my clothes. Before heading out into the wasteland, I read a magazine to help with my boredom, then I set out on foot to save gas since I haven't found too much of it yet. I ventured over to a house I had not searched yet, where inside I found a hunter's magazine teaching me how to make stick and box traps. I also came away with books to read and food to eat. Once that house was finished, I went to the neighboring one right behind. Here, I found a decent amount of food along with red wine to indulge in later. I drank a soda I found on the ground and walked outside where a group of the dead was waiting for me. I tried to use the fence to help kill them, but one of the dead tripped me up, dropping me to the ground. I ran away, not realizing I had left my crowbar behind. After closing the door behind me and equipping the spare machete, I tended to the scratch we received and finished off the rest of the zombies. After killing them and grabbing my crowbar, I went back to a house I remembered had a pin inside since my current one was now out of ink. Once my map was updated, I returned it to this view. No one had a preference in the last video, and I think I like this way just a little bit more, so I'm going to be sticking to it. Also remembered one of the houses close by had a grill with a propane tank hooked up to it. We would use that tank to be able to fill up our propane torch to continue leveling up our metalworking skill. But now being encumbered, I went back home. Once I had deposited everything we gathered today, with the time remaining in the day, I drove out to the warehouse. When I got closer, I realized there was going to be a few zombies I needed to kill first. I was here for any leftover metalworking items and planks to help level up my skills. When I got back home, I dropped the planks outside to make more rain collectors, and then stored the metalworking supplies in the shed. For dinner, I figured I'd make a fruit salad to try to use up the food before it spoiled. I cut up a watermelon to put inside, and then added many more fruits. Before finally heading to bed, I dismantled electrical items we found today. Today I woke up wanting to get stuff done. I started by making another rain collector, then grabbed the propane tank along with the welding mask and torch. I filled up my water bottle using the water from the stove, then grabbed a pot, filled it with rainwater to be boiled in the future. I went to the neighboring house that had items to be dismantled, so after refilling my propane torch, my metalworking was now level 1. I went back home to break the sinks inside the upstairs bathroom. I wanted to turn this room into a storage room using metal shelves from the warehouse, but first we'd need some lunch. So I finished off the rest of the fruit salad from last night, then I went to the warehouse to go and grab a metal shelf. When I got there, even more roamers had made the area their home. Once the threat was neutralized, I looted the other warehouse since I hadn't before. It had a lot of the same stuff from the other one, like metalworking gear, planks, and other crafting materials. When I went upstairs, I came across a water dispenser that I really wanted to take back to my house for easy water access. And after looting that building, I completely forgot to grab the metal shelf. And once I got back home, I put the water cooler in a good spot and filled up my bottle. For dinner, I whipped up a chicken and vegetable stir fry. Then ripped up the spare clothes to use for padding, and added another doll to my daughter's bed. Then I took off my helmet and went to sleep. Day 24 started by me adding the ripped sheets to my clothes. I did everything from my shirt to my socks. Once done with that, I took a couple of bars of soap outside to clean myself off. And I also wanted to repair the car hood, but I need to get mechanics to level 2 before doing that. So after grabbing my screwdriver, I did some work on the car, taking in and out the lights, radio, and battery. After a little while of doing that, I realized how much of a grind it is going to be to level up that skill. So I decided to take the shovel and some seeds and planted some fruits and vegetables. I wanted to start small for right now since I was new to farming, but eventually I'll upgrade the farm to make it even larger. I was told in the comments that a composter can be used to make fertilizer from the rotten food, so I made one outside near the shed and then collected all of the rotten food from inside the fridge and added it to the composter. I didn't realize now, but we would also need to add empty sacks to it as well. But now it was finally time to go grab the metal shelf. I ate a little bit of stir fry before we went out, and I also brought the saw and hammer to dismantle crates that were blocking me from the ones in the back. And after a little while of doing that, I got sidetracked and continued to dismantle them. Before leaving, I went back in and collected the metal shelf, but when I arrived home, I tried to place it inside and I couldn't figure out how to again. I know now that you need to have both pieces inside of your inventory. I had one in my backpack, so it wasn't working. Anyway, for now, I just placed them on the ground to try later. I was really tired by this point, but made another chicken and veggie stir fry for dinner. Last time it needed a little pepper, so this time while making it, I went ahead and added it a little bit. After eating it, I filled up my water bottle, then headed upstairs for bed. Hi, Samurai here. If you're enjoying the video, consider leaving a like. It's quick to do and really helps out the channel. If you haven't already, consider subscribing as well. And by the way, this month is 1 year since I revived my YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for the support over the past year. Y'all have been absolutely amazing. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right back into the video. Day 25 started off in the afternoon since we were up a little late last night. I started by placing in the metal shelf in the bathroom, then went outside and grabbed all the metalworking supplies from the shed and stored it up here. Then I went ahead and broke the counters in here so we could house more metal shelves. After that, I wanted to go check out the pond that was nearby. Eventually we would be relying on fishing for food, so I wanted to go ahead and make it a little bit safer for when we would venture over there. I went around clearing the area of zombies. I turned on my foraging to maybe find something good while we were out there. A bug, a branch, and some twigs. For dinner, I decided to make something I haven't yet. I added some pasta noodles to a pot along with some ingredients and cooked it up. Noticing I was down to 66 pounds and that wine had a bunch of calories inside of it, I started drinking me some, finishing the whole bottle, then went to bed tipsy. On day 26, I ate a banana for breakfast to start my day. I took some sacks from the bathroom and added them to the composter. Hopefully this will start producing some compost. I checked out the plants that we had planted, and everything seemed fine for now. After that, I got into my car, deciding to head back towards the warehouse today. But I ran into loads of zombies along the way. Where are they coming from? After emptying another shelf, I picked up the pieces to take home, but before heading back, I went into the other warehouse to break a crate to reach the ones in the back. I again came away with loads of planks. On the way home, I drove by the abandoned shopping center, or whatever this place is. Holy crap, there were loads of dead inside. They broke through the window, releasing tons of them towards me. I backed up to the storage facility, trying to thin the herd along the way. Eventually, the entire herd coming after me was dead. I felt accomplished, hopeful even. After coming away with my life, I should have went home here, but I decided to kill the other herd in the parking lot while we were here, this time playing it a little smarter to ensure my life. With it being only 4 PM, I pushed my luck even further by heading into the building, almost getting ambushed on my way in. This place seemed to be a school. That means there's a lot of adhesive tape and glue for repairing tools and weapons. I found an empty bottle in the trash can next to a water cooler, so I filled up the bottle while we were here. Also came across a storage room with some good loot inside. After clearing the bathrooms and going into the next classroom over, I decided to return later to finish looting. Once home, I dismantled watches, then moved the electrical materials upstairs as well. I ate a whole ham for dinner and drank a beer before heading to bed for the night. Day 27 started like any other, but when I went out to turn on the light in the bathroom, they wouldn't turn on. I went into my bedroom to try the lights in there as well, but no luck. The power was officially out. I went to try to figure out how to hook the generator up to the house, and after adding fuel to it, I realized I've never found the magazine to teach me how to use it. That was unfortunate. I searched my bookcases, maybe it was in there, but no. After eating some food, I went ahead and emptied the back of the car, building the shelf upstairs. Then I set out in search of the magazine, returning to the school. When I got there, it was once again filled with the dead. I hopped out the car to take them on. And while walking backward, another zombie came up behind me. I ran around hoping not to be tripped. And while fighting, a zombie got by and took a bite out of my arm. Uh-oh, this is not good. I disinfected it and bandaged it back up, but mistimed it when the herd was back on me and I wasn't able to get back inside the car. Once I led them away from it, I tried to get back in but couldn't for some reason and the dead pushed me down. Now my arm was scratched and bitten. But I wouldn't give up here. I needed to find her. I bandaged my arm up and fought the dead. After the area was clear, I jumped into my car and sped home, not knowing what to do. I washed myself off so I wouldn't spend my final days covered in guts, chugged a bottle of wine, and ate some cheese. Thinking this was it, I took some sleeping pills, a lot, in hopes to not wake up. I finished off another bottle of wine and took even more pills. This was going to be the end. 503 kills and 26 days survived, but somehow, the next day, I woke up. Seeing this as a sign not to give up, I went downstairs, took the saw from the cabinet, and just sawed my arm completely off. Maybe it was too late, but I was going to try anything to find my daughter. After sawing my arm off, I stitched up the wound, disinfected it, and bandaged my arm up. I took medicine for the pain in hopes that it wasn't too late, and read First Aid Volume 2. After a couple hours, I started to get a little queasy, not knowing if this was due to me being infected with the virus, or from me quite literally cutting my arm off a couple hours prior. For lunch, I ate some melted ice cream. Afterwards, I changed my bandages, then sat back down to continue reading, where I noticed that our health had slowly began to gain. That was a good sign. For dinner, I had ham and corn, and then went upstairs to sleep, hoping to survive the night, which I just so happened to do. I was now nauseous though, so that was worse than before. I sat down to read First Aid again while we were healing, which I ended up reading for most of the day. Towards nighttime, we were officially sick now. For dinner, I ate more ham we had and then continued reading until time for bed. And I still woke up the next day, but our health was now continuing to decrease. It was not looking good. Most of our food was rotten now, so I ate what I could out of the fridge. I wanted to spend my final hours doing something fun, so I grabbed the comic books from the bookshelf and read them for hours. For lunch, I had more melted ice cream out of the freezer, then decided to spend my final moments in my daughter's room. With my health still going down, just like that, Wallace Epperson's story was now over. After 29 days trying to find his daughter and 503 zombies killed, his mission was unsuccessful. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you're interested in seeing any more like it, consider liking and subscribing. Also, if you're interested in joining my Discord to find new people to talk to and play with, the link is in the description. Well, with all that out of the way, I've been SS Samurai 7 and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.